let's talk about shoveling snow using the principles of the Alexander technique. So as you can see here, I have quite a lot of snow to shovel. Made a little start. And snow shoveling is an activity that can often cause strain or injury when you approach it with a lot of pushing or a lot of effort, or without really understanding how to use your body smartly when you're shoveling. So we're going to use 5 principles from the Alexander technique that really apply to any activity, but we're going to apply them specifically today to snow shoveling, because that's what I'm doing. The first principle is work smarter, not harder. Then we will think about using our body mechanics wisely. Then we'll think about directing or thinking spatially in our bodies. Then we're going to make sure we're taking time and not rushing. And we're also going to remember to rest. So first, work smarter, not harder. When we look at a lot of snow, we often think, gosh, I'm going to have to lift all of that snow and move it. But what if you could use gravity to help you? I have a nice heavy shovel, and I can use gravity in my driveway to just push the snow as far as I can. I don't have to actually scoop. I just let the shovel rest on the ground and lean my body weight into it a little bit. Then, when I'm ready to actually move the snow, I really want to think about how to use my large joints, like my hip sockets and my knees, to do the main work of moving this snow. So let's talk about hinging from the hips. Find your hip sockets, find your knees. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they're shoveling snow is they hinge from the middle of their spine. And our spine it is meant to bend and flex, but it's not meant to act in a hinging way and support a lot of weight. So instead of hinging from the middle of your back, kind of collapsing through the back, we want to think of letting the torso stay long from the tail to the head, and letting your hips go back and your knees go forward. As you do this, that then frees up all of your core support for you when you're moving this heavy snow. So that's letting your body mechanics work to your advantage. We're going to think of hinging from the hips, letting the knees go forward, thinking long from tail to head. And then as soon as we want to incorporate the arms to be able to move the snow, we're going to think wide across the shoulders. Now that doesn't mean push your shoulders back. That's actually narrowing your shoulders in the back. So we're going to think wide across the shoulders in the front and the back. Think wide across the base of the torso, and let your whole back widen as well. Then when it's time to move snow, you have this strong torso support with legs that are springy and connected to the ground, which then lets you really move the snow with the ground rather than the smaller joints of your arms. Let's see what that looks like in practice. So I'm going to start by working smarter, not harder. Then I'm going to think of my body mechanics, letting myself hinge at the hips and knees, thinking wide across the torso, front and back, getting low to the ground so that then when I lift the snow, I lift it with my legs. Notice I'm not moving my arm, but I'm keeping my arms stable, lifting with my legs, and then I just shift my weight towards the front foot, and that moves the snow. Let's look at it again. Work smarter, not harder. Use body mechanics to your advantage. Long spine, head is moving away from the tail, wide across the front and back of the torso, not to lift with the shoulders, but to lift by extending the legs and then sending the snow away from you. You can look at it from the other side. Now there's another movement we often have to make in snow shoveling, which is to throw the snow to the side. And one of the things that often results in injury is, again, spiraling in a way that puts pressure through the middle of the torso rather than moving from the hips. So if I want to spiral towards my right side, I'm going to think of my body mechanics. Hips and knees are bending, widening through the front and the back of the torso, picking up the snow, and then notice how I'm moving my whole torso and arms together. I'm not twisting at the waist. I'm moving all the way from my legs just to let go of the snow. Not twisting at the waist, but spiraling from the legs to move the snow. After a while, depending on how heavy the snow is, you may start to feel tired, and that is normal. No matter in what shape you are, it is important to take your time, and it's important to rest. So after you've shoveled snow for a little while, go in, get some hot cocoa, warm up for a little bit, and if you like, you can do some constructive rest, and that will help to untighten any tightened muscles, as well as open up space in those joints that have been working so hard. And if you really like the snow, you can try it in the snow, or maybe do a snow angel. I hope this has helped you think about working smarter, not harder, using body mechanics to your advantage, thinking spatially with your directions, taking your time, and resting to use the principles of the Alexander technique when you're shoveling snow. Have fun.